telling about the interest by the economics. So before coming to interest, we need to study about the nature of money. What is money, in fact, in economics? There is so much visions, or there is much more opinions about money. The money is what money does. That is the definition of money. But what is the function of money? What is the function of money? If I have 1 rupee or 10 rupees, what is the function of that money? That is the nature of money. In defining the nature of money, Islam and modern economics is very much compromised, because before coming to modern economics or Adam Smith, 700 years ago, the well-known scholar in Islam, Imam Ghazali radiallahu anhu, told the nature of money, and he well defined the function of money. He's telling that money is a medium of exchange. This is not a commodity. Money is not a commodity. Money is not a product. Money is not a produced, and money could not be traded. This is the only medium of exchange. This is the view of Imam Ghazali radiallahu anhu. But after long years, it means 700 years or 900 years, the economist, modern economist, also telling these truths. They are telling that money is not a product, but money is no, and money is a medium of exchange only. So, what is the difference between medium of exchange and I believe all students are from economics background. That is why I'm telling the phrases and terms in economics only. So, what is the difference between medium of exchange and a product? This is very clear. The medium of exchange uh, and between medium of exchange and the product. So, uh, Imam Ghazali radiallahu anhu clearly says the difference between medium of exchange and product. The first difference, money as a medium of exchange, it has no intrinsic value. If I have a 10 rupees, if I have a 10 rupees, it has no intrinsic value. And this money can be used to obtain or achieve anything, but as a paper, money is a paper. As a paper, it has no any value. I am not using this money for direct purpose. Intrinsic utility means it has no utility directly. But any product, you take this book or any book, that book has a direct purpose. This book I can be used to write. This pen I can be used to write. And this turban I can use it to wear. But as a note or currency, as a money, it has no intrinsic utility. And the second difference between the money and the product, or between the medium of exchange or the product, is money has not receiving any different qualities. If you have a 10 rupees, that is very old, and another one have a 10 rupees, that is very new, there is no difference between that new and old. There is no difference between that new and old. Money, whether it is new or whether it is old, it has same value. But if you have a dress that is very old and another dress the same quality or same type, but it has a new one, it is totally different in rate, in value, in measurement, in everything. So this is the special feature of a product, that will receive the qualities. But medium of exchange never receive the qualities. It has one value. That value will be in at any time, whether it is new or whether it is old or whether it is In any type of qualities, it has only one value, but as a product, it would be different product, different values. And the third difference between the medium of exchange and the product is the product can be pinpointed, but the medium of exchange or the money or the currency could not be pinpointed. What is the meaning of this point? If I have a 10 rupee and I have given to another one that's 10 rupee, so that 10 rupees could not be pinpointed at any time. If he returned me another 10 rupees, there is no any problem. There is no any trouble on returning another 10 rupees to me. But if I give him on 10 and I asked him to return, he should return that pen, that specific pen. This is the pinpointing. That means a product will be pinpointed, but the currency will not be pinpointed. My sound is not clear.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. So the difference between I'm telling about pure economics. So please sit with me with complete listening. Okay. Then the product and the medium of exchange. The difference between product and medium of exchange is three. That could not be pinpointed, that could not be received any different qualities, and money has no intrinsic utility. At the last, the economists, there is, you have learned the economics, there is two type of goods, consumption goods and production goods. Money is not a consumption goods as per the economics, but money is the not a production goods also as per the modern economics. So what is money? If it is not a production goods and if it is not a consumption goods, what would be the money? That is clearly the answer. Money is not a goods. So it is not a goods, it is not a product, but it is a medium of exchange. If money is a medium of exchange, what would be the function of money? If I am giving 10 lakh rupees to bank and receiving 20 lakh in return, it is the trading of money. It is not a medium of exchange. It is not a, I am not exchanging as a medium in money, but it is a trade. This is the basic difference between the modern economics and Islam. Islam considering money as a medium of exchange, but the modern economics, they're considering money as a medium of exchange, but they are not considering the basic logic of medium of exchange. But they are using sometimes the money as a medium of exchange, and sometimes they are using the money as a produce or product or commodity also. So in Islam, why Islam prohibited interest? The basic nature of money is it is a medium of exchange. So interest, the trading of money is not allowed in Islam as per the concept. But there is an ayah in Islam, in Quran. I'm not prolonging my class because there is very limited time to us. So I am telling about there is one ayah in Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa dharu ma baqiya min riba. The last sentence of this ayah, وَإِن تُبْتُمْ فَلَكُمْ رُؤُوسُ أَمْوَالِكُمْ وَإِن تُبْتُمْ فَلَكُمْ رُؤُوسُ أَمْوَالِكُمْ and la tallimun wa la tullamun. If you receive the principal amount only, if you receive the principal amount only without interest, la tallimun, you will not do the wrong, and wala tullamun, you will not be wronged. Means you will not do harass or you will not be harassed. So this is the basic hikmah, wisdom of prohibiting the interest. La tadlimun wa la tudlamun. You will not do the wrong and you will not be wronged also. You will not be harassed also, or you will not harass some others also. This is the basic wisdom of prohibiting interest according to Islam. So why Islam prohibited interest? The simple answer is la tullimun wa la tullamun. How it is became lul, interest as became lul, we will consider it in the economic sense. First, the main problem as a as in economics is unemployment, inequality, and inflation. All these are derived actually from interest only. If we ban interest in worldwide, we could ban or we could eradicate the unemployment, poverty, inequality, and inflation, every type of economic crisis, economic problems, we can eradicate by the banning the interest. Because, for the example, uh, the production process, there are four factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. This is the modern concept of factors of production: land, labor, and capital, and entrepreneurship. But as per economics, there is no four factors of production, but there is three type of factors of production. Because in modern economics, the capital is rewarded by the interest and the entrepreneurship is rewarded by profit. But in Islam, there is no interest. So there is three type of factors of production only. So started a business, if I started a business with debt capital means capital which have interest. With debt capitals, I started a business with 1 lakh and there is 50,000 rupees as a debt capital, or as a loan that have interest. So what would be the cost of my commodity or product? My commodity would be the total of land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Or the reward of land would be the rent. The reward of wage would be reward of labor would be the wage, and the reward of capital would be the interest, and the reward of entrepreneurship would be the profit. So my cost of product is the sum of these four total. But if I started a business without interest, there would be no option for capital and interest, but the capital and entrepreneurship is both are one. So my cost would be very less than the conventional economics. This is the problem that is based on interest only. So if I start a business with interest, that would lead to the destruction of my business actually. Why the every business that are destructing every day? This is the only because of the interest. So the interest, that how it is affecting negatively on small scales or industries or small scale business, that I'm telling. If we are adding the interest with our factors of production, that the cost of the product would be very more, that would lead to the destruction of the business. So you think about, if I start a business with 10 lakh rupees, That 10, from out of 10 lakh rupees, 9 lakh rupees I have loaned, I have taken from another person as a loan, and I got 30% profit. But this 30% profit I made from the capital of 9 lakh rupees that is belong to another person. But I'm giving as an interest to that other person only 3% or 5% or up to 10%. The remaining 20% is to me. But actually, what is my capital or what is my contribution in the business? This is only 1 lakh. The other 9 lakh is belong to another person. So this make big inequality among between me and him. This is the one shape of economic problem that is created by interest. And in vice versa, in reverse, you may think, I have started a business with 10 lakh rupees and that 9 lakh rupees to belong to another person, and my business it suffers a big loss. My business suffers a big loss, but he is getting the another person that he contributed 9 lakh, he's getting the fixed amount of interest. That means I am much suffering than him to give him his interest also. So it made very much imbalance or difference or inequality between me and him. This is the one mode of creating imbalances or inequality among the citizens or among the persons in an economy. So I am telling about how the cost of production is increased by the interest. That is, I told earlier how the cost of production is increased by interest. And secondly, I told how the income disparity is overlooked, or it may be very big with the interest. So, and there is no time, only 5 minutes remain, so I'm going to close the session. And at last, I'm telling about how the interest is heavily affected in resource allocation. You know, if you go to a bank and apply for a loan, the bank will be provided you the loan if you have a collateral support. If you have a collateral support. If you have no any collateral support, the bank would not be allowed any type of loans. So actually, bank is functioning for the richest only. Those who have a collateral, there would be any type of rich person, or he would not be any type of poor. And the special feature of modern banks are they will not assess, or they will not trying to assess in what purpose that loan is used. But is in Islamic finance, if I have taken loan from a modern bank for running a business with 10 lakh rupees, the bank will not search whether I have used that 10 rupees for starting business, or whether I have purchased a car for that 10 lakh rupees. The bank has no any concern, because bank needs the interest only. If I paid the interest, they are satisfied. But it is not supported by the Islam. Islam, as a religion, it support only the asset-backed loans only. Asset-backed loan. In Islam, there is a difference between loan and debt. This is another part of subject. I'm not entering that part. In Islam, there is difference between the loan and debt. Loan is another one, debt is another one. Loan is fully, that is a sympathetic way. If someone came to me and asked some rupees as a loan, I'm giving him as a sympathetic way. It is loan in Islam. But someone came to me to start a business and asked loan, and I'm giving him the cash. The Islam, the modern business considering it as a commercial loan or commercial debt, but there is no commercial debt in Islam. Islam promoting only the profit and loss sharing. You know, there are many more profit and loss sharing methods. You have studied in Fathul Mu'in, you have studied in Khulasa and other fiqh kitabs, shirkats, musharaka, mularaba, bay salam, bay hinan, qiral, and there are much more form of financing. They are telling about the profit and loss sharing. So there is difference between the loan and debt in Islam. So if I take a loan from the bank is not considering how it is used. Actually, it results in inflation. What is the real cause of inflation? Real cause of inflation, how the inflation is built in an economy. Inflation is built. Why? Because the cash is more in economy, but the product is less. The cash is more, but the product is less. That is the real cause of inflation. If the modern banks are giving more and more money without the backing interest, that will create actually the inflation. But Islam is not giving even a single rupee without any purpose, without backing any support of assets. I think this is the time of closing my lecturing, and you have to ask some question. And here also coming some questions in message box. You can ask any questions about the interest and its economics and in its Islamic view. You know the two types of interest in Islam, Ribal Bay and Ribal Qar. I am telling about the Ribal Qar only. This is the 30-minute session only. We could not tell anything more, but this is the very, very basic assumptions or very basic concepts about the interest in Islam and the modern economics. You need to study more for getting more idea.
Hello, sir. We have a number of questions, and the first question was, hello, could you hear?
Yes.
I request all of the participants to unmute mute the mic, please. There is a lot of noise. And the first question was, the debt taken from an Islamic bank also needed to be repaid with extra amount as per agreed before. So changing name of this extra will not reduce the cost of production. This was asked by Samir Ali. And
no, this is not correct. If I gave some loans to a factory or business, they will not ask to me to repay more. This is incorrect. Who told you you have to repay more amount as you taken debt from an Islamic bank? It is not correct. This because it is became the interest. Am I correct?
so for the easy work of our, we have no option for unmuting for the participants. Can we go to the next question?
Okay.
The next question was, is it one question from C. Muhammad Yasin. In India, average inflation rate is 4 to 5%. If I give 1 lakh to someone, when he returns that to me after 1 year, that 1 lakh will not have that value. He has to give back.
I understood the question. This is a very good question. Everybody asking in this type of sessions. But in contrast, in reverse, if you think there instead of inflation, there happened the deflation, what would be the attitude of the bank? If I gave today to bank as a deposit 1 lakh rupees, and after 1 year, unfortunately, there is happened deflation instead of inflation. What would be the attitude of bank? So actually, the modern banks are not charging as per the inflation. As per the inflation, charging as per the inflation is called in Islamic economics as the indexation. You must search in Google indexation Islamic finance. But it is a matter of controversy. But in Islamic finance, if you have paid 10 lakh rupees, it would be for any purpose. It would be for starting business, or it would be for starting a school, or it would be for any type of running business. So there is profit and loss sharing occurred. I told you there is difference between the debt and loan. The loan will be in the sympathetic way. The lender will not desire any type of return in addition in loan. But the in debt, Islam prohibited the commercial debt. Prohibited means if you want the return in addition, it is prohibited. If you want in return the addition, you should deposit it in a profit and loss way. You should deposit it in a profit and loss way, profit and loss sharing way, not as a commercial debt that bear the interest. So there would not be arise the problem of inflation, because if the profit or loss shared, that would be in equal to inflation, or there would be some difference between inflation or deflation, between the inflation and the actual profit. But anyway, it would be like interest. So what I'm telling is, as a Islamic finance, as in Islamic finance, there is no debt, but there is commercial debt and in a way of profit and loss sharing. So there is no way to erase the uh, inflation at all. You are clear or not?
The one who asked the question could unmute the mic and ask if there is any objection.
Okay, it is clear. I'll research on the indexation in Islam. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Then the next question: how the time value
So I am
advantage?
telling two books to you. You should study that books as an economic student. You should always follow one person, Mufti Muhammad Taqi Usmani. He is the leading scholar in Pakistan. He was the Chief Justice of Sharia Court in Pakistan, Lahore, and now he is a leading scholar in Islamic finance. I don't know whether his Akida is Ahlul Sunnah or not, but his contribution in Islamic finance very much, and he has many books in Islamic finance. The best one is An Introduction to Islamic Finance. The second one is his judgment in Pakistan Supreme Court regarding the interest. These both books are very much you have to need to read that one. Within you can read it within 1 or 2 days. Very few pages are there.
Okay.
Shall we move on to the next question, sir?
Oh,
Shall we move on to the next question?
okay.
Okay, it was asked by Fazil CRZ. The debt taken, how the time value advantage of interest is balanced in Islam, especially in defending cost of inflation.
So the time value is introduced by the modern capitalism only. In Islam, the time value is adjusted with the profit and loss sharing. If you share the profit and if you share the loss, there is no problem of time. Actually, the time value of money is introduced by the capitalism only. There is no any way to tell that the money has the time value. Money has its own value, but it has no connection with the time. If it has a connection with the time, we can be adjusted in Islamic finance with with the profit and loss sharing. Okay. I could not hear the voice.
Sorry. We have a question from Naufal Khan. If Islamic banks are not getting interest, how could the banks be able to raise the funds, which is the one of the main allegations?
Everything, I have told you only few things in Islamic finance within 30 minutes. This is another area of discussing 2 hours or 1 day. How an Islamic finance can survive. The the simple answer is every questions you have asking is very big questions, and every question can be dealt with in 2 or 3 hours or in a big lecture. But I am telling it in a simple way. Islamic finance bank can be survived by the sharing of profits, by the sharing of profit and loss. If the bank get more profit, they will share that profit among the bank, among the lender, and among the depositor, and among the clients. So they are surviving with using the profits. This is the simple answer.
Another question from Fazil CRZ. How do you distinguish the liquidity analysis between Islamic bank and conventional bank?
Oh, this is what is the liquidity analysis? So this is a very problematic question that should be discussed in another session. How the banks, Islamic banks, will get the liquidity. So in simple way, what is the liquidity? What is the liquidity? Liquidity means not the real assets, but it would be the short-term assets. So the bank will get the liquidity amount by short-term funds. There are so much ways. In that ways, bank can be raised the short-term funds from different sources. There are many sources, and that is discussed in Islamic banking structure very deeply. You need to read that part. This is a wide question. Next question.
There is a question from Jazim Anas. How to consider for madhabs in global Islamic economy? Will there be more conflicts?
That I am telling you. Now, the Islamic economics is dealing with those who have no madhabs. In Kerala, you know Jamaat-e-Islami. They, as part of their Hukumat-e-Ilahi, they are the forerunners in Islamic finance, but they have no any madhab. They are telling that they've taken it from Quran and Hadith, but everything not described in Quran and Hadith, but they are stolen it from the Quran and from the fiqh muamala of four madhab. So actually the Islamic finance that are providing now in every part of the world, that is the part of Islamic fiqh muamalat. So there is much more opportunity. There is much more opportunity to study the combination of these four madhab to risk analysis. This is the very big part in Islamic finance, risk reduction, and the problem that arose earlier, the liquidity problem. So we need you as a student in Islamic finance, modern economics, and Islamic fiqh. You should have to learn four madhab of fiqh muamalat, and you have to introduce a new system for a risk reduction and to reduce the liquidity problems in Islamic finance. So there is wide opportunity to combine the four madhab in it is suitable way. Yeah, there is another question. See, Muhammad Yasin asked, if Islamic banks given loan only to business on profit and loss base, can someone approach Islamic for medical expenses of building house? This is a very good question that we need to discuss in Islamic bank. But I am this, I have told you only the about the interest. I have not told you about the Islamic bank. So how the Islamic bank is giving loan to medical expenses or to building a house. For example, if I need to build a house, I approach the bank. The bank would give me the building materials, the they built the house, and between me and bank there would be the contract of murabaha. There is a contract of murabaha. You should learn in the book of Taqi Usmani what is murabaha. It is also in Fathul Muin also, but in little sense, but it is discussed in other madhab kitabs. So me and bank, there would be the contract of murabaha, and with that contract, the bank would build to me a house, and I will finance it. This is very smooth way that is happening very regularly in Middle East, Malaysia, Singapore, everywhere, and Europe also.
So we have a question from Muhammad Martani.
Mm.
Interest in business and economics is utterly different. Then what is the interest that Islam banned?
What is the question? Interest in academics.
Interest in business and economics is different. Then what is the interest that Islam banned? There's a
Interest
question
in
that
economics and business. What is the? I could not understand. What is the interest in economics and what? Okay. Means rebel buy and rebel curl. He meant it. Means the interest in loan and interest in sale. Islam prohibited both. You have studied in Fathul Main, the first part of the Fathul Main, Kitabul Bay, Zahabam bi Zahabin. There is a hadith. لا تبيعوا ذهبا بذهب ولا فضة بفضة ولا برا ببر. That is the interest in sale. Ribal fal, ribal nasi'a. There are so much ribas are there. But there is another riba, ribal qal. That it is also discussed in Fathul Mu'in, in the last part of the chapter of riba. That riba is commonly prevailing in our world. This is the bank riba, bank interest. That is why we told about the bank interest. That means ribal qar. The ribal fadl and ribal nisiya, this is not prevailing in our world. That is why we skipped it. But both riba, both interest are haram.
So we are running out of time.
Oh, very good.
Shall we conclude?
Definitely.
So we had a wonderful session.
This is my request to mutalims, religious students. So please study the Islamic finance very deeply from its original source. You never learn it from Taqi Usmani's book. You never learn it from any other's book, but you read it from Fathul Mu'in, Tuhfa, Mughni, Nihaya, and compare it with the authentic economics books. So you need to contribute highly contribution to the field of Islamic economics. Inshallah, you should able it if you studied well. May Allah give you tawfiq.
I mean, we also pray for that. And so we have heartfelt thanks for you and all those who attended this webinar. We had a wonderful session which described the fundamental differences in Islamic system and the prevailing contemporary system. And I believe all of us have conceived your talk because it was well articulated, and very thanks for your advices at last moment. And we had some technical issues. I request on the behalf of Marcus Garden and our academics department to be with us, to be in our further activities. And to all those participants, let me say to you, we had some issues with the question and answering sessions. I request all of you to send messages to the admins, and we will contact Dr. Umarul Farooque Saqafi, and we will suffice you with answers. Thank you, one and all. We will be waiting for you in our next session too. Thank you for your participation.